Alright folks, I thought I would show you this video on how to level the Hands of Wisdom Occultist, or basically some tips, and I thought I would show you my gear and just, I guess, explore it a little bit with you guys. A few people asked on the forums, as you can see. A few people asked on the forums, if you look at my recent posts, I'll be posting it in this thread. There is my gear. There'll be a link in the description. Some people asked if they wanted to know how to level it. I got a few PMs whilst actually playing the game, and I figured I'd just show you what's been going on since I made the video. So I'll keep that on copy paste, and we can refer back to it if we need to. The build is Hands of Wisdom Occultist. You're using Hands of Wisdom. You're stacking curses, and the build's about defense. If you're wanting to see like gameplay footage of it in action or stuff like that, then there are plenty of videos on my stream. There is also a guide / boss highlights where I've killed pretty much, well, I have killed everything in the game, and you know, it's there for you to look at if you want to see how the build functions. But this video is just for the guide, the gear, the leveling, right? So as always, when I level a build, I just go in my guild stash and I just pick out some stuff to level with. What I did for the Hands of Wisdom was, you can see obviously the tree, and again the path of building, the actual gear and stuff is in the guide, but you know, it's all stacking intelligence, which means you're going to struggle to have good health pools whilst leveling good damage, and it's going to be a little bit awkward. Now, you can just negate the entire process and just go a standard witch build, get some poet's pens, and just run through the campaign with arc. You pay an exalt for each poet's pen, spec into some generic lightning damage, some life, some heart and soul, some crit chance for spells, whatever you want to do. And then once it's done, you could go to blood siphon, you know, trickery, get some crit nodes, and then once you're done, you just sell the poet's pens and then use your regret orbs, because I'm sure a lot of people have a ton of regret orbs. But I like to level the builds as I use the main skill. So I've got some VODs here of me actually leveling the build itself. I guess I'll have to, because these will probably be deleted soon, because it was 9 days ago. But I will highlight them in case anybody actually just wants to watch the leveling process. It didn't take me that long to level. What I did, as you can see here, at this point in the campaign, I'm in the sewers, right? I'm really early on. I've just used any skill I can get until I can wear my Hands of Wisdoms, which are level 22. You can see on my skill bar, I've got a Clarity running, I've got a Flame Dash, and I've got a 6-link Tabula with all of the skills I'm using basically in my main link now. You could put on different links obviously as you're leveling up. Added lightning, added fire, weapon elemental damage, conk effect, molten strike. Just put on anything that boosts your damage, any damage gems that work early on. So you can see the damage there. I'm killing rares like pretty damn quickly, and you can see if I pause it, I have conduit gloves on. I had just a random ring, leather cap to cap my resist, the gloves, and my slot here is empty. Now, I didn't realize that you could wear 2 Hands of Wisdoms. I thought they disabled it and you could only wear 1, but up until you get like a good energy shield, you can wear a second claw and you will get a lot more damage. So it doesn't matter that you don't have much health, you can get a lot more damage, and you just truck your way through the campaign. So you get in any sort of damage support gem that you can find, and then there's going to be a few little things that are going to make your leveling process a bit easier, because otherwise everyone knows how to level like this, right? But you know, you can see it's got Molten Strike, Ancestral Call is the big one, and I didn't rush to any gems. You can see that's an essence, a rare essence, and it gets pretty much deleted, honestly. Like, rares have been 2-shot. So as long as if you've got some Quicksilver Flask to run through the campaign, and you've got your gems leveling, I recommend leveling all your gems in an offhand, So get 6 gems leveling, because you don't want to enter the campaign or enter maps and not have any gem levels, right? Because that would just suck. That's why I enjoyed leveling as the build I'm going to play, because you get to see it progress, right? You get to see it go from start to finish. So you can see that's coal. Yeah, you don't have much life, but, you know, you do a hell of a lot of damage, and you can really begin to sprint through the campaign after you've got to level 22. I'm using clarity here, and what I end up eventually doing is, if we skip this on, you know, I started leveling this at what, like 5 hours. By the 4th hour, I'm in Act 8 doing some repassives. It took me about 5 hours to finish the campaign, so it's pretty fast once you get rolling. You can see right now, I've done a lab. I've done some labs, which I recommend doing early. Get a friend to carry you, or you can do the first one yourself, definitely. The second one is kind of sketchy, because you do have such low energy shield. You have crazy damage, but you're probably going to be one shot. So if you can get a friend, the second ascendancy is going to give you a ton of damage, and, well, I guess survivability, sorry, through your energy shield. So what we've got now is, I've got whirling blades on. You can see you can see this weird shield here in my hand. I'm wearing a chalice of horrors, which I'll show you in a second. And I'm using a 6-link molten strike. I've got a golem out for some attack speed. I've got whirling blades fortify, flame dash to make some jumps. And I've got an ancestral protector on a 1-link, because then when you stand near it, you get a lot of attack speed. And you can see here again, level 54, I've got basically 2k health pool, which granted isn't a hell of a lot, but honestly, it was actually pretty damn smooth to level. I'm not just making that up to make it sound good. I normally suck at leveling, and this was absolutely fine. So if we go on a little bit later onto a different VOD, we've now sort of got the build a little bit better. We've got 1600 ES and 1200 life, and that's after you've done a couple of labs, and now you're in Blood Aqueducts. Now obviously once you're in Blood Aqueducts, the build is pretty much done. You just sit and farm it till 70, and then you equip all your gear and off you go. You put on your regalia or your chest piece, you put on your helmet, your Shaper's Touch gloves, your Cyclopean coil, and you get a hell of a lot of ES. And you'll notice here, you see I'm like 1200, 1600. Honestly, just sliding through the campaign, not dying. I've got two quicksilvers, I've got a silver flask and a wise oak and 1 life pot. And soon enough, I'm up to 5k. I'm up to 5k ES, and that is from, I believe, just basically doing a lab. You get your lab, putting on your gear. You'll notice here, you'll see the jump. So this is what I was wearing. I was wearing, towards the end, Claw, Tabula, Astromentis. I was wearing this ring, the Lahoop ring for increased damage. Boots so you can't be frozen, res, and then I put on my new rings that I'd bought, coil, gloves, and I kept the boots. And you'll see, you put the shield on that you've purchased or whatever you've purchased, and you'll jump to like 6k energy shield with 1k life. And then, you're level 70, you farm a little bit more, and then you can go CI. So, the links will be, I'll bookmark them so I don't delete them. That's kind of like how the build levels, technically, I guess. What you can do to make your life easier is, what I did was, you can have a belt. Here's a tip. You can have a belt, and what you craft on it is, you craft this on. So I'll show you what I was doing. So you get any rare belt. So I pretty much, what I did was, I did this. This is kind of stupid, but you can do something like that. Increase flash charges gained. Something good, right? So I just rolled a low level belt until I got something good, right? Increase flash charges gained. Yeah, that's okay. Or whatever you want, right? Maybe you want, I don't know, you get the point. You roll it to whatever you want that has 1 mod, right? You regal it. And then you just go, energy shield on your belt, and then this thing here has different crafts, right? So level 1, these are the requirements. At level 1 you put this on, right? Then at like, I think it's like whatever the level requirement is, right? You put this on, and 15 energy shield regen per second whilst near a rare doesn't sound a lot, but that's constantly regenning, and because you don't have much life and much ES early on, that's a big jump. You can then craft this on. It still requires level 24. You're regaining 30 energy shield. Once you've kept that on for a long time, and then you jump up, once you hit level 40, you're then regaining 60 energy shield regen every time, and then you can go for the 120 once you're ready to put that on. And that helped me a lot early on with just survivability. The gloves, I've got these Caress Iron Gauntlets. You get Power Frenzy Charger on kill, attack and cast speed. Again, some Wonderlusts. Ignore the enchant, because you can't actually wear them if they're enchanted. But yeah, with some Wonderlusts, a Tabula, Leather Cap, Curry Ward for some speed, some Wake of Destructions. If you don't want they cannot be frozen, you don't really care, you could roll a freeze flask. Just chuck on some of these, or you could get some 7 League Steps. At level 30, you want to be putting on a Thief's Torment. That's going to solve all your issues. Then you can basically have no mana and just spam till your heart's content, and then you level up the build really smoothly. At the current price, it's like 5-6C or something. At level 29, you can put on this shield. This had the most shield in the game at level 29 with 84, so I just chucked it on there in my offhand. So that's what I kept on. And that's pretty much how the leveling process went. You can see, you know, the VODs of me leveling up. You can see here it's like 1 chaos for an 84 ES one. You just buy one of those, that's what I wore, or you could just get rid of the ES and you can spec into some life. Early on, I will say, I spec'd into this life wheel here, and I spec'd into, at one point, I think this life wheel, just to help me out a tiny bit. And then I leveled as all the int nodes. This here, I left for quite a long time to get the extra proj. I kind of went like through the witch node, got some life nodes. I went up here, and I went down to here and got these nodes, and I started to head down to here to get the leech. That's kind of how it went. So pretty much once I was down here, I took some leech nodes. I took point blank, because you're always point blank, you may as well. And then I started to fill out sort of these nodes here and make my way over here for the extra proj, because I figured the extra proj is going to be nice, but what's going to really suck is if I have to take off the Thief's Torment and I've got no leech. So I made sure I got some leech. And again, you're putting in some fertile mines as you go. Now the gear, I'll put this back in the guild stash. The gear that it's actually my Thief's Torment and my boots, but yeah, the gear I'm wearing now, it's my Tabula. Put this back. Right, the gear I'm wearing right now obviously is very good gear. You don't need this level of gear. It's obviously just min-maxing. And I've enjoyed the build so much. I am level 100. And I've died, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with my deaths, 37 times. Honestly, probably 25 of them, probably 30 of them came whilst leveling, because I didn't know what I was doing whilst leveling. And I level, the way I level is, there are some moments where you can 100% not die to the boss, like Brian King, or you can just chat to your friends in Discord and just sit and not move. And I hate leveling, so I went for that approach. But honestly, like, you can sit and watch the VOD. Like, the leveling process isn't like you're going to be dying all the time. That's probably an exaggeration. That you can see, like, as we show the leveling, you can see how much regen and leech we're getting, right? Just by being near people. And I did head up to Ghost Reaver once I'd got a decent energy pool. Once I'd basically got the 5k ES mark, then I went to Ghost Reaver, because then my Thief's Torment and my Leech went to my ES. But I kept the no Ghost Reaver node, because when you've got little energy shield, you want all your Leech going to your life. So you can see me here, I'm even doing this stupid snake scorpion boss when you don't really need to do it, but I felt like my damage was strong enough that I could just go in and kill it. It's nothing staggering, but considering like you're leveling, you've got none of your main gear on, you're just wearing a chalice and a single claw, honestly, like, it's fine. You can see the health bar going up and down. It's safe to level. It's not like I remember last time I leveled Hands of Wisdom, I had like 1 ES, and I just did it wrong, but this way it felt a lot smoother. So we'll continue on with looking at the gear. Obviously you've got your Hands of Wisdom. Now, I bought one perfect one. This cost like 1.5 exalts. You can always upgrade your own, so you can just get a blessing from an Ash Breachstone and you can get a blessing, upgrade your own, but the blessings are like 2C. What I recommend is you buy 2 claws to level with, try out the shield, try out the 2 claws, see what you prefer, because obviously you get bonuses from 2 claws, and then upgrade them both and see what your rolls are. The main roll is 12% increased intelligence, right? That's the main roll that you're looking for. This one is perfect, even down to the elemental damage. It was 1.5 exalts, I had the currency and I thought, why not? And then I had the worst Hands of Wisdom possible, and I used 1 divine, and it rolled literally perfect. So the only reason I've got 2 perfect claws is just RNG. I wouldn't spend... They're asking like 5 exalts for a perfect one. I wouldn't spend anywhere near that. Just get one with 12 intelligence. It's fine. So those are the 2 claws. Obviously, in the build I'm using, I use an Aziri's Reflection, which we all know is expensive. It's like 30 exalts. However, when I'm doing tier 16 bosses, I don't even use it. The only time I'll put this on is when I'm in a boss room and the map is like lots and lots of curses, and I think, you know what, I don't want to be Ellie weaknessed or something, and I'll wear that whilst I fight the boss. Normally when I'm fighting a boss, it's just 2 Hands of Wisdoms. This shield is pretty much like, you can't really die once you've got this level of ES. Once you've got it on, you've got this level of ES, you've got 3 curses, lots of energy shield on hit. You've got, once you press your 2 defensive flasks, you've got like a 60% chance to dodge. It's pretty safe. Like, I honestly, you can watch all the VODs you want of me on stream. I've died twice to my very first Uber Elder, just through complete misplays. I've died one more time to my 5th Uber Elder, because you can always down an Uber Elder. It just happens sometimes. Like, I dived into the circle because I didn't think I had enough time, and then I did, and it all got messed up, and the explosion didn't go off, and whatever. And I've died twice to Phoenix because I didn't realise he puts a fire debuff on you, and I had Ellie weakness, and I had this claw on, so I had like 2 fire res. So if you fight in a Phoenix, or just get a curse removal pot, it's like the same stuff. The helmet, this helmet, I didn't use this up until recently. The helmet I used, and don't think this is mirrored because it's GG, this was sold for 4 exalts. I bought this for 4 exalts. Somebody obviously had a blue base with an enchant, used a mirrored fossil, got some high energy shield, and I bought it. I was previously using nearby enemies have minus light res, an ES Hubris with the enchant. Either Blood Rage gives attack speed, or if you stand near your ancestral totem, where are we? Your ancestral protector gives additional attack speed, and some high energy shield. It was 360 ES, more attack speed when you're near ancestral call, and it was nearby enemies have minus light res. I recently sold that for 3 exalts. You're going to be able to pick up a 300 ES Hubris for cheap. The +2 Molten Strike is obviously nice. I've killed Uber Elder without it. That was my first kill. I didn't have So it's not like it's necessary, right? But it obviously goes a long way. So you're just looking for ES. Now, ideally, I'd have intelligence on this. I'd have some resists. I'd have nearby enemies have minus light res. But that would be talking 50, 60, 70 exalts, mirror worthy, and, well, it's not worth it. The next thing I use that I haven't seen in people's builds is I use a dream fragment, so you can't be chilled or frozen. And I just corrupted it for dex and intelligence. You can corrupt these for attack speed, lightning damage to spells and attacks. There's a few things you can corrupt, and they're like 1C to corrupt, so it's not that bad, right? So the reason I wear a dream fragment is you could wear a ring like this, int, energy shield, wed, and you could craft some more stuff on it. If I put this on, I get like 600 more ES. I get 66k. I get like 4k damage per ball, which is quite a lot, honestly. And I'm still capped resistances, right? Yeah. But the problem is, when I wear this, I can be frozen whilst mapping, and sometimes I'm just not paying attention when you open a strong box and you can die. And like I say, this build is designed to not die. And on Uber Elder, you can be chilled and frozen. And if you get frozen, you're pretty much scuppered. So I just keep this ring on at all times, just for quality of life. It's not needed at all, but you could just roll a remove freeze. But for my lazy playstyle, I just think I can open up any box, I'll never be frozen. The Val Regalia, again, as much energy shield as you can afford, intelligence if you can. Obviously resists, they're better. You can get increased attributes on a shaped one if you wanted to spend a hell of a lot of currency, but just high energy shield. If you can't get in on it, you can always do the craft. You can always do this craft, which is intelligence and quality. It costs an exalt, but it gives you some int, so you could do that as an option, or you could do the 2C one. So there's an option there. I could put that on, but I don't really think it's worth an exalt, especially because then I'd have to recraft it constantly to get the good roll, or divine it. And this ES Regalia has a range of like 710 ES to like 860, and I can't get it. 808 is the highest I've tried, even though I've used like 30 divines. So I wouldn't want to put the craft on that costs an exalt and have to keep divining it. The talisman, I've actually looked out on this talisman. In what you can do, I'll give you a tip, is you can make an amulet, make a load of amulets that have a high amount of int on, increased energy shield, and then you upgrade them with the syndicate. Where's the syndicate? There's a syndicate somewhere that here is Jorgen. He turns any amulet into a random talisman, and then obviously if you get this that gives increased attributes, that's going to give you a hell of a lot of energy shield and stuff. I've been trying to craft one that basically has 1% damage per 15 int, increased attributes and some int, and then I could craft 20% energy shield on. That would just about beat out this talisman. But honestly, it's really hard to beat out a Astramentus. If you buy Perfect Astramentus, it's like 60 chaos, and I leveled with that up until this thing popped up and I bought it. And an Astramentus is a really solid amulet. The rings, again, I don't think I've got one to show, but I had a Lahoop ring. It gives increased damage, and again, these are the kind of rings you're looking for. In energy shield, wed, resists, obviously. I've got this one ring which just gives me a shit ton of res. That's all that is. It's got some int on it. I exalted it and it got 11 evasion shield, so I was hoping obviously it would hit like some good shit, but no, 11 evasion. Shaper's Touch, you can do it two ways. You can get elemental weakness on hit. Elemental weakness on hit, obviously, every time you're hitting with it, you're applying it, and then you get your curses through your boot, so, you know, through your blasphemy. So what I mean by you can do it both ways is you can do LE weakness on hit, which costs about an exalt, or you can do temp change, which costs about 10C. Now, obviously, the Ellie weakness is going to be a low level. It's going to be level 11. Your temp chains is going to be level 20 or even 21, right? So your options are have a level 11 temp chains, a level 20 Ellie weakness for more damage, or have level 11 Ellie weakness and a stronger temp chains. I figured Ellie weakness is better because a stronger temp chains just means when you stood still, all the enemies around you have been slowed via blasphemy. When you don't have it on blasphemy, they're only been slowed if you're hitting them, and then if you're hitting them, well, you're probably killing them. So I went for this for more defense. You can swap it around for more offense. But yeah, these gloves cost not that much. You don't even need the curse up until, well, a while. You can just get the temp chains ones until you can afford the Ellie weakness or whatever you want to do. Boots. These cost 1 exalt. I enchanted them in the lab, put some quality on them. What you're looking for is as much energy shield as you can afford. Obviously, now these boots I'm kind of stuck with because they've got 45 lightning resist, and that's what I need pretty much to solve my build. I could exalt them and maybe I get a resist, and that kind of bricks my whole build, so I can't exalt them. Ideally, you get in or something like that. What you can do is you don't need to look for move speed because you're just whirling blades everywhere, right? So you don't need to look for move speed. Just try get the best boots you can. A coil, this is the cheapest item I'm wearing. It costs like 20c. Increased attributes, get the highest one you can afford. What's decent about this belt and why I haven't changed it, I definitely could get one with increased attributes, increased energy shield from body armor. I think you could get like 150 energy shield on a crystal belt. I sold one of those recently. But what's good about this is if you get it balanced correctly, so you can't be shocked if your intelligence is higher than your strength, which means your topaz flask doesn't affect you. You can't be frozen if your dexterity is higher than the int. That's never going to happen with this build, but we've got a dream fragments to stop the freeze. If your strength is higher than your dex, which mine is, you cannot be ignited, and ignite really does suck for CI builds. And 1% increase damage of your lowest attribute. So ideally, I'd get a lot more dexterity because I'd get more accuracy and I'd get more damage, right, per 5. But that's really min-maxing, and you're struggling then. With your tree, you could get could alter some things. And that's kind of the gear. You've got ES, ES, ES. You've got an optional shield or a second claw, gloves, and everything else is just, I've got Dying Sun, a pen topaz, wise oak pen, onslaught flask, and a remove bleed jade flask. That's kind of the gear. Anything else that's important? Now, I don't know how lucky I was to do this or not, but I have 234 mana and I don't need any leech. I can basically just spam forever because you have enough mana regen. So you can go as low as you can go. The only expensive thing I would say about the build that's kind of annoying because nobody likes doing it is buying disciplines. I've got 2 level 4 disciplines. Enlightened, sorry. But you can see that I can still attack completely fine without any issues without using this one. So you actually only need 1. This is just like sometimes like I run some maps and you might need it, but you don't. I've just shown you. You don't need it. It's completely irrelevant. The price of these is like 2 to 3 exalts because there's so many been made. If you can afford it, obviously it helps. You're probably going to need 1 of them. And that's it really. Obviously you can get as expensive as you want. Faster attacks, Whirling Blades Fortify, Discipline, Blood Rage. A tip you can do is I put Blood Rage in my shield, So I kill some packs, and then my ES is ticking down, and I just double tap X to weapon swap, and it stops Blood Rage. So I put Blood Rage in my shield. You know, Molten Strike, damage on full life, Multi-Strike, Elemental Focus, Elemental Damage, Conk. I just swap out damage on full life because it's actually better than Wed. So, yeah, I just take out damage on full life and put in Ancestral Call. So I just do this. This is basically the swap that I do. So I'll map like this. I'll have Blood Rage in the shield, and I'll map. And I'll get to a Guardian. I only really swap for a Guardian. And I'll go Claw on, Blood Rage into my helmet, Ancestral Protector, and then I'm ready to go. And I can kill the boss. It takes like 1 second. That is, I guess that's it for now. That's all. Now, obviously, if you don't end up with a mirrored helmet, which ideally you don't do, your colours become a lot more flexible, but I can't change these colours, so I just kind of had to make it do. That's why this awkward swap comes in. But if you can change the colours on your helmet, it's much easier. So again, Ancestral Protector, boom, 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 boom. That's the swap. So that is the build. Any key gear that we need. I've got a Wildfire, just try corrupt some. They're like 1 alch. Fertile Mines, they're pretty decent. Get the 24 one. I've got one that you can't be cursed with silence. It was like the same price as a regular one, so I just thought, well, why not? So that's the build. That's how it's looking. That is how it's looking. Jewels, if you're interested in jewels, the jewels I've got are attack speed and ES. ES and res. We've got a jewel here. I've got a Watcher's Eye. I forgot about this. This is obviously like end game. Like if you delve in or you're doing a boss, like a really hard boss, and you want to just have that extra bit of leeway, energy shield on the hit. That's all it is. Helps a lot. And then this is again just a load of resists. Now my jewels aren't the best. Ideally, I'd get like this with resists, better boots with resists, a helmet with resists or something. Again, maybe you drop the dream fragments, you get resists on the ring, and then you can upgrade your jewels everywhere. An option as well, if you're like feeling really different, I've thought about this, is you can craft Cannot Be Frozen on your boots if you've got space, and then you could get rid of that. That's an option. But that's how the build's been going. I know it's been a bit of a long video, but I wanted to make the gear guide. If you got any questions, let me know, but I think I tried to cover everything. Again, the belt with the energy shield regen, Thief's Torment, it's pretty cheap to level. And what I like about these builds is you can really scale it. So again, it's mainly made as a deep delver. Unfortunately, I can't delve that much on it because you need damn sulfite. But that's how it's going. It's barely died. I know you're going to say 37 deaths. You know, come on. But honestly, I've legit since I got the build like with actual gear. It's like haven't really died. It's been super solid. So definitely recommend it. Peace out. If you want to support me, Twitch Prime, there's links, Twitter, YouTube, just hang out, whatever, anything helps. You know. Hopefully you've had a wonderful New Year's and Christmas, and hopefully you get better drops than me.